Hello there. So, for my Hefty Hall of Fame, I watched Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is a 10. It's a 10 of 10s. It's a long... Frankly, I think that it defines and possibly started the genre of black comedy. It's one of the darkest comedies you'll ever see. It's a comedy. Actually, there's a quote on the back of the box. I will read it to you because I would be paraphrasing. The funniest movie ever made about global thermonuclear holocaust. The funniest movie ever made about global thermonuclear holocaust. There you go. It's about the end of the world, and it's hilarious. Again, that's what it's about. It's about a psychotic general finding a loophole in America's plans and taking the initiative to attack Russia during the Cold War with the entire might of our nuclear force, and saying whatever happens, happens. So that's what it's about. And then it's America trying to do anything to recover, pick up the pieces, anything to stop this imminent global holocaust. It's written, produced, and directed by the great Stanley Kubrick. In my opinion, the greatest director ever. I believe it's from a book. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe this is from a book. He wrote it from a book, so it's an adapted screenplay. Stars Peter Sellers in what is arguably, there's also Being there, but this is his best role, his best performance ever. And Peter Sellers is a genius. There hasn't been a performer like him since, and I assume not too many before him. I think that you only see a talent like Peter Sellers once in a couple of lifetimes, I would have to assume. Peter Sellers operated on another level. There's just no other way to put it. He was different. He's a genius. And you see him on display here as you've never seen him or will ever see him. So if anything, this is more of a showcase for the genius of Peter Sellers. And he is what makes it amazing. It's also, again, it's a Stanley Kubrick movie, film, so I think any work of Kubrick is I can't help but call it a work of genius. His films are like music to me. They're hypnotic. I don't know any other way to explain it. I love Stanley Kubrick. I love Peter Sellers. Peter Sellers plays 3 different characters here, including the titular Dr. Strangelove. It also stars George C. Scott in a career-defining role. He would later play Patton, but Patton is still kind of a variation of his character here. Also stars one of my very favorites, Sterling Hayden. Sterling Hayden, haven't seen in too many films other than Stanley Kubrick films and The Godfather. So he's a classic character actor. He's one of my personal idols. I would love my career to mirror Sterling Hayden's. I think Sterling Hayden's performance here is iconic. He plays the psychotic general, Jack D. Ripper. his performance, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I watch it and I marvel. I do that with this entire film. Again, it's hilariously funny, and I think about, I can't tell you how many times I've seen it. I probably watched it for the first time when I was around the age of 14. That's a guesstimate. I can remember sitting in the dark in my basement, watching a VHS copy, just squinting, because I remember the quality. It's a black and white film. The quality wasn't that good, and I just had to sit there and kind of squint. And I honestly don't remember laughing all that much, but I remember being transfixed. And I've seen this film many, many times. I really can't tell you how many times I've watched it. Probably in the 20s somewhere. I mean, that's reasonable. I watched it recently because I got a Blu-ray edition. This is I think the third time I bought this film. This is the Blu-ray edition. It's gorgeous. That's why I had to see it, as I wanted to see how gorgeous it looked. I've never seen it on the big screen. I hope to one day see it on the big screen for some type of anniversary event or something, but with my current home theater and the Blu-ray, I thought it was gorgeous, and since I've never seen it in the theater, that's the closest I'm going to get. So it was gorgeous. The Blu-ray looked great, sounded great. Really enhanced the story for as far as I'm concerned. I'm amazed that how long the takes are. Kubrick sets up a shot, makes it look like a painting. Everything's perfect. And then he has two actors go through that scene, go through that shot, move through that shot, and it's like 8 minutes long. And I don't know how. I don't know how the actors do it. The shots are so long, so long that you forget that they're one shot. And I think that's amazing, especially when the crux of the whole film comes down to this word interplay and timing between two people talking. And I just think it's... See, that's what makes it, to me, the highest of art, is because I think great art, the highest of all art, defies explanation. And I think to explain and to analyze and to dissect something like that is wrong. I think it's counterproductive. I don't agree with it. So, in effect, I hate kind of sitting here thinking about why I love this movie, because it's unexplainable. And it's indefinable, according to me. It just hits me on a level that can't be explained. It's transportive to me. Also stars Slim Pickens. And I think that it's interesting. I think Dr. Strangelove is not only one of my favorite films, probably one of my two favorite films, but it's, I think, the most important comedy ever. And I think it's one of my also favorite two comedies. The other comedy that I think is as important, is as good, is Blazing Saddles. I think Blazing Saddles is a monument to be observed, and I think Dr. Strangelove is too. And I think that it's interesting that Slim Pickens is in both films. He's in both Blazing Saddles and Dr. Strangelove. So by default, in my opinion, Slim Pickens must be one of our great comic actors, because he's in the two greatest comedies of all time. I don't know. I can't say, you know, much more about it. I really can't. There's just nothing I don't love about it. I can't find anything wrong with it. I tell people that Jaws is my favorite movie, and I got that because however you answer the question, if you could only watch one movie for the rest of your life, you're on a desert island, and you can only watch one movie. You somehow have a TV and a player of some kind to watch it. You only have one movie to watch for the rest of your life. What movie would that be? The answer to that question for me is Jaws. I could watch Jaws for the rest of my life, and only watch Jaws for the rest of my life. But when I was ready to get on that boat or plane or whatever that's going to take me to that island where I have only one movie left to watch for the rest of my life, it would be Jaws and Dr. Strangelove. And I'd be holding them in my hands going, which one am I going to take? Which one am I going to take? And again, I'd probably take Jaws just because, I don't know, I would. But I just love this movie. And it's a part of me. So you know, it's a 10. It's a 10. It's beyond a 10. It's an 11. I don't really know what else to say, but other than that, it's a showcase for genius, both of Stanley Kubrick and Peter Sellers. Everything else about it, again, Sterling Hayden is a great actor, but for me, I think his performance as Ripper is time capsule worthy. I love it, and I hope that in my life I can even approach something like what Sterling Hayden does here. Again, I don't think anybody could hope to do what Peter Sellers does here. So, I mean, I think to even aspire to want to do that, I think is madness, because it can't conceivably be done. But you could maybe reach what Sterling Hayden does here. I think it's a attainable goal, at least. So, and it is one of my goals. So, I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm just blowing this movie. But it's definitely blow-worthy. So I don't know what else to say. If you have never seen Dr. Strangelove, well, one, that confuses and irritates me. Two, do it yesterday, you know, travel back in time and watch it, and so you can agree with me now. I don't know what else to say. If there is a Hefty Hall of Fame, then Dr. Strangelove is most definitely in it. It's a 10 of 10s, and man, I hope my love of this film has come across, because I don't really know how to break it down and dot the I's and cross the T's. So, Dr. Strangelove, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb, one of the greatest films of all time. Thank you.